Mia, hi Mia. Would you please talk about how to be with the loneliness of dealing with ME, CFS, or in life generally? That's a great question because I think it's a really tough part of the journey, but a really important part of the journey. So yeah, I'll definitely talk about that. That was a big part of it for me. What really changed, if I think about it, in my first year or so, I really struggled because my life got smaller and smaller, and I went from being in a relationship and seeing people and that to kind of, just living alone at home. And then at times I feel extremely lonely, and there was such a fear of the loneliness. It always felt like I needed to do something to make it go away. That, oh no, I'm feeling loneliness, this is bad, I need to do something about this. Or it was scary, I suppose. And what I eventually realized is it really all had to do with my beliefs about my identity and what a person's life should look like. And it was so scary that I wasn't living a life that everybody else was living. And that's why I stopped using social media quite early on. I always knew that it wasn't helping me, and and then if I did ever go on, that would really trigger the loneliness, because I would have these beliefs like, oh my gosh, look at all these lives these people are leading, like that's what I should be doing, but I can't. So that's one aspect of it. And really what changed for me was realizing that, like as I talk about a lot, it was like not fighting what's here, right? So realizing that it's okay to feel loneliness. And as with all of the emotional stuff, I really recommend really allowing yourself to feel whatever scary, negative emotion is here, whatever one's afraid to feel. Really allow yourself just to feel that, like, okay, wow, I feel kind of lonely. And, how does that make you feel? Maybe scared or sad. And to just let yourself feel that, like, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with feeling lonely. It's really, it was for me the fear of feeling lonely and the oh no, what do? I shouldn't be feeling this emotion. That was what was the problem. Actually, feeling loneliness wasn't the problem. So yeah, I invite anyone, if they feel that, to kind of allow the emotion to express itself, to just kind of let it come up. And along with that, you can really self-soothe. You can kind of imagine that you're talking to the emotion itself, that you're kind of self-parenting in a way, or whatever. That was a massive change in this journey that got me on the recovery path. Like something that changed, that allowed me to start recovering, was realizing that I could be there for myself. That all the time there was stories in my mind of, if only I had, because I had been in a long-term relationship that ended before this, if only I had somebody that was there for me that could, soothe me or help me through this. And, always, if only somebody else could do this or somebody else could do that. Realizing that I can feel what I'm feeling and I can be there for myself, it was a game changer. And it's like these self-compassion practices, this self-parenting, like whatever comes up, you can kind of talk to that emotion itself and say, it's okay, you can feel that. I'm here for you. I did a lot of that. I actually want to make a video talking more directly about the compassion practices, because that was really when I started to recover, when no matter what scary stuff came up, or whether it was symptoms or emotions or thoughts or whatever, it kind of became my automatic response because I practiced it so much. It's okay. I love you. I accept you. You can be here. I make space for whatever needs to be felt. Like really actually actively working with what's here is incredibly helpful. Instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to feel what's here, to really like self-soothe it was a game changer for me. So, you're feeling loneliness, it's fine. Let that loneliness be there. And to go back to what I was saying earlier, was also the beliefs that when those beliefs kind of fall away, that, I'm not living the life that I thought I should be living. I'm living the life that life is giving me. And if I fight that, that's when I suffer. If I embrace it, that this is where life is taking me, it eventually became the most incredible journey. Difficult a lot of the time, but realizing that, I don't have to be socializing and living the same life as everybody else. And sure, once I've recovered, I can do those kind of things, but it's kind of more just spontaneous now. If it happens, it happens. It's really got to do with identity and stuff as well, of, if I'm not living the same life as everybody else, what, who am I? So that's kind of my answer on it. It can, I don't know if that helps, but it can be a massive part of the journey, and a difficult one, the loneliness, but really working with it and dropping those beliefs. Like I said, like when I accepted that I was going to be alone in my apartment working through this, I fought it for so long and kept on trying to live a normal life and whatnot, and kept on crashing and kept on suffering and struggling. And eventually I was like, I was getting into meditation, and it would help my symptoms, and I would still resist it because it meant facing what needed to be here and sitting with the uncomfortable stuff. And eventually, probably just through the way things unfolded for me, I was realizing that, this was a massive opportunity that I had here. People would go on these meditation retreats where they would sit in silence and meditate for days, isolating themselves from the outside world. But it would be okay because of the beliefs about it. Like this is not a problem. So kind of shifting my perspective on it of, I should be living this kind of life, but I'm not, to like, okay, I'm going to be alone in my apartment. Can I really use this time to explore my mind and what's causing me to suffer? And that's kind of when the loneliness shifted, and it wasn't really a problem anymore because I felt the loneliness. I was okay with the loneliness, and I wasn't really fighting the process anymore. So that was my experience with it.